Good evening.
Hey everyone, welcome to Wednesday night OWCP Chats with Chris and Gini. I'm Gini.
I'm not.
And this is Chris. Anyway, tonight we will be just doing some Q&A. And, last week we were supposed to do Q&A, but because of the storm we had come through here, which was a little rough.
Yeah.
We had 35 mile per hour winds. We had some branches and tons of leaves, and it looked like a little storm outside. But
all of our trees were in the front yard.
Everyone survived, and it was really, really a blessing in disguise that we didn't get hit with a category whatever we were supposed to get hit with. So right now, go ahead and share and follow. Share and follow and like if you haven't done so already.
Yep.
And before we get started, we're going to go over a few things. Just to let you know, we won't be on maybe for 2 Wednesdays. Maybe we might go on. We won't be going on next week because we are going on our family trip to Park City, Utah.
And it's Thanksgiving. You all have stuff you're doing as well.
Yeah. And then the following week, we're undecided. So just stay tuned and watch us on our page to see if we are. We'll pick a really good topic. We'll be in the Salt Lake City area. If there's a lot of you out there that are in the Salt Lake City area or Park City area and want to meet with us, message us. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then
last time we were there, we were able to meet with some really, really nice folks. And
APW.
We'd love to do that again in a couple of weeks. Not this week, not during Thanksgiving week, but the week after. We're going to be in Utah for 2 straight weeks.
Oh, Ron, you said sorry. It's your granddaughter's birthday. See you next Wednesday. We won't be on next Wednesday.
Well, happy birthday to your granddaughter, Ron.
Happy birthday for your granddaughter. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Tammy, you are on.
Hey, Tammy.
Hey, how's it going? Matt Hayes. We're going to give it a few minutes here before we start answering your questions. Those of you saw our pictures last week. You actually got to see Tom and Joe, our other 2 partners of Federal Injury Centers.
From Massachusetts and from Ohio.
And we went to a chiropractic convention. And the reason for us to even be there, because everybody was wondering why we were there, was to recruit doctors for federal employees nationwide. As you know, we are franchising Federal Injury Center, so we were looking for doctors, and we had some really good leads. And you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we've had conversations with a lot of doctors while we were there and since. In fact, yesterday and today, in total, I was probably on 6 or 7 hours of phone calls with doctors in different areas. We have some really great leads. Today we spoke with somebody who's got offices in Las Vegas. I'm motivated for that one to happen, for sure. And in Michigan. In what part of Michigan was that location at?
Something with an R?
Anyways, it'll come to me in a minute.
Not Detroit.
No. So anyways, Michigan, Las Vegas. We had a conversation with someone from the Kansas City, Missouri area.
Yesterday we had somebody from Daytona.
Yeah, from Daytona.
Doctor. And these are all doctors that we're talking to, so you guys know. Chiros.
And none of this is a guarantee. I mean, they've got to read through our very long franchise disclosure document, franchise agreement, understand it. Hopefully, I'd like them to show it to their lawyers so that they feel comfortable with it the way I do. So this is a process. But we've talked to some really exciting leads. Today's, the one in Las Vegas was really exciting. Not just because it's Vegas. Look, if you know me, I like to play some cards. That's not why. This person... in his words, patients are number 1, compliance is a close second, and money is like number 11. That's basically what he said. So we love people like that. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this guy on board in his 4 offices. So that's what we're working on. The reason we do that, and I've been telling this to the doctors when I get them on the phone, is my mission at Federal Injury Centers as the franchise is to put a doctor's office who's expert in OWCP within range of every federal employee in the country. That's a huge goal, and nobody's even ever tried it. What they try to do is they say, well, I'm just going to get one local office. We'll try to help this little town or this city, this area. And that's just not good enough. I've done that already, and I'm always left feeling like I'm not doing enough. because I know I have the power to put an office everywhere in all 50 states. And so because I know I can, we will. So be patient with us. But your biggest problem is you can't find a doctor that understands how to get your claim accepted. And my biggest problem is I can't find a doctor who will say yes to the deal. So I'm nearly giving it away for free. I just want you guys to know I'm in it with you. And I know it's a fight for you every day. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to get doctors to help you out. I think I was telling her, I think in the next 12 months, right now we have 7 locations. 12 months from now, it would not surprise me if we have 40 to 50 locations. That's how many leads we have, and some of them have multiple locations.
Yeah, so those of you that are hopping on, let us know what city and state you would love to have a federal injury centers.
Connecticut.
Try to give us a nice location. And we've said this before, we're not putting franchises up like franchise of McDonald's on every corner, you know, like 2 and 3 in each city. We're putting them strategically where people don't have to drive 6 hours maybe. Yeah. It's all depending on the doctor that wants to be a part of it. I mean, if there's one doctor, then there's just one doctor. But we are trying to get at least 1 to 2, the least, in each state, just to make sure that you guys are getting the help and not having to fly out of state, not having to drive 11 hours to get to a clinic. So let us know cities, because when we go back over
Grand Rapids, that's where.
Yeah, that's where it is in Michigan. Yes.
Yeah.
That's where you're talking to somebody.
That's the doctors in Grand Rapids. That's right.
I said something with an R.
And we had another one that's near Buffalo that we talked to as well.
Yeah.
In upstate New York.
So we can't put them in little tiny cities. Realize that we want to put them in major cities where everyone has access. You know,
it makes a positive impact on the most people.
Right. I mean, because it's not just USPS; it's all sorts of federal employees. Yeah. So everybody tends to forget that we do this for nationwide federal employees of all agencies. And so let us know, because when we review this again tonight or tomorrow, Chris and I look it over, we write down cities, and when people call in or email us doctors, we look and see if it's a popular city.
Well, and another thing that helps me, you know, for lack of better words, sell the doctor on this idea is doctors like to know, you know, what are my odds of even getting people to come to me as a patient? Right. Because this is a business decision for them. And, I mean, not for me, I already made it. We're doing this already. But for them, it's a business decision. So if I'm able to talk to someone and say, you know, last night, 10 people from your city said, when are you going to put a doctor in my city? Then that's powerful. And in fact, you being in the audience with us has proven to be very powerful. Doctors really like that we're able to teach you, and they think it's a really great idea. Everyone we talk to says, wow, nobody's doing that. So that's right, nobody's doing that except for us. So, yeah, keep letting us know what cities and states that you'd like to have offices in, because if enough people are saying a city and state, it'll help a doctor say yes.
Yeah, we're getting close in Ohio, folks.
Oh yeah, so we're
getting very, very close of getting a doctor.
Yeah, we found a couple of young doctors there who seem like me 10, 15 years ago, really hungry, eager,
and they're willing to help you guys, because when we were at this convention, they were saying, you know, why are you guys here? Yeah. Why isn't this more, what's the word, popular? You know, why don't they really want to know why doctors are not doing this.
They don't understand.
We had to let them know, you know, you have to understand on the side of the doctor, you know, financially, the time, the effort, and you guys all know this is why there aren't no doctors to help you guys.
Right. Yeah. There's no doctors.
Sorry, I'm just sharing. You guys continue chatting.
So do me a favor, everyone. Please hit the share button. There's not a lot of sharing happens, so everyone hit the share button real quick. Just take 2 seconds out and hit the share button, and then come back. All right. Let's get more people on. We're doing Q&A tonight about OWCP, Federal Workers' Comp. If you're not a federal employee, this isn't for you, but we're glad you're here. For the rest of you who are federal employees, start shooting your questions out. We'll start reading them off and answering them. If you stump me tonight, you can probably feel sure that there will be a third book, and it'll be based on you stump me. So let's just bring it. Let's see what you got. Before we get there, let me tell you where we have locations right now. We're in Clearwater, Florida. We have a Federal Injury Center's office in Bessemer, Alabama, which is essentially Birmingham, Alabama. Those two offices are just crushing it. They get cases accepted, it seems, faster than we can get cases in. So we're really good at it. We've got newer offices in McKinney, Texas, which is just north of Dallas. We've got a brand new location that's doing training. We are finishing up their training over the next 2 to 3 weeks, and they're in South Dallas, so they'll be online. And we've got Memphis, Tennessee. So we've got Quincy and Norwood, Massachusetts as well. That's where we're currently operating. I want to talk about Tennessee, though. So Memphis, by population, is the largest city in Tennessee. And I don't know where you're going. So, by the way, if you're in Memphis, can you hit the like button a few times and let me see that we've got people, at least from Tennessee. I'm not sure if we have an audience in Tennessee at all because it doesn't seem to be getting any traction. The doctor there is trained, ready. He's only been able to help 3 people, but we got their cases accepted. And if we had 3 more, we'd get theirs accepted, and 30 more, we'd get theirs accepted, because that's what we do. We get cases accepted. So if you're from Tennessee, let me know you're from Tennessee. I'd like to hear from you. But if you know somebody in Tennessee, let them know there's an office in Memphis that can help them. And you can get help if you're in Little Rock, if you're in the northern side of Mississippi, and in a lot of places in Tennessee. So I just thought I'd put it out there because the office is up and running, and we're not getting a lot of traction, and that's frustrating. And it's frustrating for the people of Memphis, too, who are getting cases accepted and somehow haven't figured out that we're there. We do crazy marketing and promotion, so, it's not like we're invisible up there. They're just not finding out. So, anyways, help your coworkers out in that area and let them know that there is a Memphis office in Tennessee.
Mary, you asked, what about the military? Yes, we do help military base civilians.
Yeah, obviously not the enlisted men and women that they're fighting, but we do help the civilians who work on the bases. And in fact, I've been on a base to see firsthand the hard labor jobs that are done there. I mean, you folks build tanks and stuff, so those are heavy. But we can definitely help you.
Seattle, you want something? I think something's coming in Seattle.
Yeah,
right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So one of our doctors, our Clearwater doctor, has committed to Seattle. And we're in the process of contracting and those things. But once we get that fully signed for, I'll let you know more details about it.
Yeah, 2021, you're going to be very surprised.
You're going to see an explosion of offices.
Federal injury centers nationwide. I remember when Chris first started talking about franchising, he wanted to get 200, and I think we're going to be there.
Yeah, I think 50 is going to be an easy milestone because finally the word's getting out and we're getting some traction on it. We're spending a lot of money to attract doctors, so I'm hoping that some doctors start saying yes.
Okay,
because I'm not getting Christmas presents for our kids. I'm getting franchised doctors.
So when you guys
don't tell the kids.
You guys are saying a state in question mark. Okay, so let me put this out there.
Yeah,
in every state, even Hawaii and Alaska and Puerto Rico and the Virgin
Islands, yeah,
we will be coming as to when. Sometime in the next 2 years.
That's up to the doctors because we're doing massive outreach. Like we've got an email database of over 30,000 doctors. We've got a lead generation campaign where the first month generated 31 leads. We went to this convention where we got 15 or 20 leads, I don't know.
Yeah.
And we're going to another convention. My partner Joe and I are going to go in mid-December where there's another group of doctors. And then we're going back in February to another one where there's going to be a national convention of doctors. So we're doing everything we can to attract these men and women to help you, and eventually it'll happen. They'll start getting on board. And our current doctors are also expanding to new offices. So we're making a big push, but the work we're doing now is going to pay off huge for you in the coming year.
Yeah. You guys are asking about OWCP attorneys. So the attorney that we use is
Eric Blowers.
Attorney Eric Blowers. I'm actually on here trying to put all the info. So those of you that want to know how to contact us, right there. I'm pinning the comment right now.
There it is.
I'm going to pin the comment. Let me pin the comment. Okay. So I just pinned the comment below. You just see it right there. You can call us at that 877 number and to buy the book. Oh, Those of you that don't know, this is the first volume of the book. So you get to see it there.
The book, Breaking OWCP. It's funny. There may be like 2 other OWCP books that were ever written. And, get those too if you want, whatever. But this one, and then volume 2 will be out in time for you to get them for Christmas. And I'll have some really nice deals there. I had to write the second volume because after the first one, I had so many people saying, yeah, but what about this topic? What about this topic? And so I wrote it. I'm now in the process of editing, and I'm looking for a book cover.
I got to take pictures.
Because, my picture's on this cover. When I took that picture, I had no idea that was going to end up on a book. Who knew? But
here, you know what? Let's see. If anybody's in TSA, we're going to be traveling through Tampa, Denver, and Salt Lake, and Houston. If you see this guy in the book,
say hi.
Say hi.
You know what happens? What happens is we go through TSA, and they recognize her. And, they don't even say, hey, where's that guy who's normally with you? They don't even know I'm here, I think.
I get a message, be like, did you just come through TSA?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the questions you guys
have.
Oh, no,
I have to say this.
Questions.
So one more thing real quick. Last housekeeping item before we get to this. Many of you, like 1,000 plus, have the book now. And which I'm really honored that so many of you have gone out to get it, so thank you. If anybody wants a copy of it, I'm only going to be shipping these out between tomorrow morning and Saturday, and then I'm taking 2 weeks off because we're going to be out of town. I'm not bringing a box of books with me. So if anybody orders a book after Saturday, it won't be mailed off for 2 weeks, and I hate that, and I'm really sorry, but I'm telling you now so you're not surprised by it. So whoever wants it, go ahead and get it tonight, and I'll make sure they're out the door tomorrow. And anybody that buys them tomorrow will be out the door the next day, but on Sunday, I'll be out the door.
So Melissa from Lakeland says, can you please leave some books at the Clearwater office to buy? We will go ahead and take care of that tomorrow, Friday.
Yeah, if somebody wants to do that, that's a good idea. Yeah, you can go by the office.
We'll go ahead and leave about 20 of them at the office and have Andrew handle that for you guys.
Yeah, no problem.
So it'll just be $14.95. Yeah. All right. Done?
You betcha.
All right, let's get these questions answered. Lexington, Kentucky is central of area of Kentucky. Yes, we are coming there.
Yep.
What about the military? Answered that. Okay, Steve says Indianapolis, Indiana. Perfect. Right in the middle of the state. Can't find any specialist who will see us when it's OWCP.
Search OWCP Injury Doctor Indianapolis and see what you find. OWCP Injury Doctor Indianapolis.
Samara, Doctors at Orthopedic Associates of Michigan is where I'm going for my workers' comp. They're amazing. Samara, if you know any doctors there, send their phone number over to us and we'll have our sales team reach out to them in case they are interested in doing it the right way and helping you guys.
If you love your doctors, there's a good chance that I will too. So that's a good sign.
Kimberly says, I'm feeling a bit frustrated. I found an orthopedic in New York who takes OWCP. Said if they can get workers' comp to accept the case, I need a nerve test and patient work comp wants info to accept the claim. It's like work comp wants the results, yet won't approve the testing. Yeah. I'm still hoping for the best, giving it some time. By the way, you two are amazing. Thank you for all you do.
Well, thanks. You're amazing too.
Hey, Kimberly. So you said you're seeing a work comp doctor and they're not really getting the cases accepted. Please message me their office number or their office manager and the name of the doctor, and we will try to reach out to them
and
help out. So if you guys, any of you guys out there that have a doctor that you're going to, an ortho or a chiro or an MD that's really good and that is doing OWCP but doesn't understand it correctly, send them their name and number to me through Messenger, and I will contact them. Angela said, Richmond, Virginia, D.C., Maryland, please return my call ASAP. Thank you.
All right, so we have another one in the D.C., Maryland area that is ramping up as well. I'm telling you, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So we do have one that I feel highly confident will come online. He wants to be in this more than I want him here.
That's true.
So that's why I think it's going to happen.
Teresa Renfro, I'm having carpal tunnel surgery on my left hand and trigger thumb tomorrow, and I haven't gotten my workers' compensation approved, but I'm tired of being in pain and years of injections. Can I still continue the fight for workers' compensation?
Yeah, so what it sounds like is you're going to use your health insurance to get your surgery, which is super common. I hate it, but it's common. You can still get your claim accepted later and then go back and get the money back. And then workers' comp and your insurance company will work together to, pay your insurance company back. You won't have to be part of that. They'll do it automatically. But you'll be able to go back and use the reimbursement forms, which are going to be in the second book. I talk extensively about how to get your money back and how to get your time back. And so you definitely will be able to do that. You get your case accepted anytime in the future, you'll be able to go back and get all that money back.
And don't forget, you guys have 3 years. Oh, let me bring something up. We were going to discuss this last week and we didn't get on. So we had a patient give one of our offices a call. And she said her injury happened 3 months ago. No problem. The person and the staff told her we could go ahead and come in, blah, blah. And she said, and, the person in our staff was like, yeah, you have 3 years to, file your claim.
3 years, not 3 months.
Not months,
not
or
3
days.
days. 3 years.
And so she decided to go to her union and ask her local president. And her president said that we were lying, our office, that we were lying. He's never heard of 3 years. It's 3 months and she's already exhausted her time. So we just want to let you guys know when you are filing these claims and you're going through the situation just now, like what Teresa was talking about, it's 3 years, not 3 months. And if your local president and your union doesn't understand or know, look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up.
It's really not that hard.
Yeah.
The laws are easy to find. I found them. But you have 3 years to report an injury, and it's maddening to me when someone who's in a position to help hurts, and that's what happened in this case. But, we're never going to get into a fight with unions, so,
You guys will just have to figure it out. If you can't take our word and our office's word, we can't really force you.
Yeah, we never would do that.
Yeah.
But, I'm not going to badmouth this union president. I'm not even going to tell you what city this person's in. But what I am going to tell you is if someone tells you something and what they say conflicts with what I've said, they're wrong. All right, what's next?
All right. Wayne Mitchell said, receive my rating for my total knee replacement. How long does it take to be compensated, or will I be compensated?
After a total knee replacement, is he talking about getting compensated for the money he paid to have the surgery? Is that what we're talking about? Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? Sorry. Oh, how did I miss the rating part? Receive my rating for my total knee replacement. How long does it take for being compensated, or will I be compensated? Okay, so you got your impairment rating. Your impairment rating has to be attached to a CA7, and letter D is checked for schedule award. Those go in to your claims examiner, and the claims examiner decides whether or not it's accurate and they're going to pay it. It could be approved, it could be denied. If it's already been sent into the claims examiner and you haven't gotten a response, you need to call back and call your claims examiner daily, weekly, whatever you're comfortable with, and find out what the deal is. Because either they're going to send you a letter in the mail saying, we've approved this, or we've denied it. If we've denied it, here's why. And then you can appeal with a reconsideration. But there are no rules, there are no timelines for how long they have to compensate you for your rating. So keep following up with your claims examiner.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, and by the way, so in this book, there's a chapter on schedule awards. And when I wrote it, I thought it was a really good chapter. And I still think it's really good. But now that I've written it, and I've consulted with Eric Blowers, I don't think it's great. I think it's really good. So I've got a great chapter in the second book on schedule awards with a worksheet that will help you calculate your own impairment rating.
Yeah, and
does that sound good or good?
And Wayne, I'll go ahead and post Eric Blowers' information. You could, call him and talk to him about your impairment rating as well.
Not calculate your impairment rating, calculate your schedule award.
Yeah.
So, and as far as I know, this doesn't exist until now.
Okay. Martiza Rodriguez, my medical plan was deactivated because I've been out for more than a year and receiving work comp. I just found out when I went to fill out a prescription. What am I supposed to do? HR says I'm supposed to receive medical from OWCP, but when or how does that medical plan even work here in Puerto Rico?
Well, okay, you receive medical from OWCP for your work injury, but it sounds to me that you're saying that since you've been out of work due to a work injury, you lost your health insurance. And that doesn't sound like something that's right. So what you need to do is go to your union and say, I lost my health insurance, what do I do? Okay, and these unions also, to my knowledge, most of them at least, have their own health insurance policies. So check that out, but you shouldn't have lost your health insurance, for sure.
Madeline said, I just had surgery on October 15th on my ankle from a fall I had on the job. OWCP hasn't accepted my claim yet because they want a narrative explaining why I needed to have surgery and how my fall landing required me to have surgery.
Yeah.
They gave me 30 days to get this info, but I still haven't gotten the info. Can I ask for an extension, and can I be denied even though my accident happened on the workroom floor?
Yeah, so this isn't, don't worry about, sorry.
Gizmo?
Hey, my dog likes to dig. For those of you that know, Gizmo digs to China every day. Never makes it, but I'm pulling for him. All right, so, where was I? Surgery. They're not going to approve it until the doctor shows that it's medically necessary, okay? You probably need a diagnosis expansion if your diagnosis is not surgical. You know, like if your diagnosis is sprain, it'll never get approved. It doesn't matter how good the doctor writes a report. So make sure you have the right diagnosis. And then after you have the right diagnosis, your doctor writes a narrative report explaining why the surgery is necessary. But when you have the correct diagnosis, surgeries are almost automatic, because if the condition is surgical, it just is, and then they cover it. If they're not approving it now and they're giving you 30 days, it's not going to matter, because as soon as the doctor has the right diagnosis and has the right narrative, they'll approve it. Okay, so don't worry about missing a 30-day deadline. That's artificial. You can have surgery for an accepted claim anytime.
And don't forget, you have 3 years. Penny says, can my occupational medical doctor refuse my advocate to be present?
Can your doctor refuse your advocate? Are you referring to like a nurse case manager?
Probably.
So right now it's kind of a funny time with COVID. They can pretty much exclude anybody by virtue of saying we're limiting the number of people in the office. But so set that aside. Your doctor can refuse to see your nurse case manager. I don't recommend it, but the doctor can refuse. I think that'll hurt your case.
They're really supposed to help you?
So I think you should all work together.
Yeah.
You, the nurse case manager, and the doctor should all work together. And I don't know why. Like, I would encourage all of my doctors to communicate and work with an advocate. Definitely.
And
whether it's a
somebody that knows
lawyer,
their stuff, yeah.
a family member, a nurse case manager, whoever it is, the doctor doesn't have to do it. There's no rule that says so, but man, they sure should.
Yeah. Rosa, I know you and I were messaging this morning. She says, how do you change a doctor that doesn't listen to your injuries as to why they're saying pain isn't an issue not to work? That's the reason why I'm hurt.
Well, if you're not satisfied with your doctor, and I'm not the one to tell you that you are or aren't, you can do a change of treating doctor request. It's not automatic that they will approve it, but you can do that. On my website, breakingowcp.com, I've got a tab for free downloads, and one of the free downloads is a form for a worksheet for how to change treating doctors or how to request it. So you can take a look at that. But if you're not happy with your doctor and you've communicated and it's not working out for you, then you have to request a change. And the claims examiner has a choice of denying or approving that.
Yep. Amarelli Falcon says, for mileage reimbursement, I had it changed. Now has to be approved. My case was denied, just approved. Can I still submit for mileage?
Absolutely, and congratulations. Now that it's approved, you just have to account for all your mileage on the OWCP 957 form. You can account for 3 days of travel per form, so you're going to need multiple forms. And then just fill it out. Fill the worksheet out. Again, I'll have a chapter in the book on how to do that, but it's pretty straightforward, and you definitely can just have the receipts, have the documentation, and attach it.
Melissa Ross. What if your claim is accepted, but it's taking forever to get your surgery approved, but waiting is causing more damage? Can you use your own insurance, then have OWCP reimburse them? It's a CA1 claim.
So that happens all the time. People using their own insurance and then OWCP reimbursing. It happens all the time. If your surgery is being delayed, it goes right back to the same subject I said earlier. Number one, you got to make sure that the diagnosis is correct. What happens is people will have an approved condition that's, say, a sprain, right? But they have imaging that showed a herniation. And so the doctor now has to go back and add herniation to the claim. That's called a diagnosis expansion. I talk extensively about this in the second book. So first, make sure your diagnosis is surgical, right? Because a sprain is not surgical, for example. After that, then the doctor just needs to write a letter of medical necessity explaining why surgery is necessary, and that goes in for pre-authorization. And pre-authorization should take like 3 days max. So it's all about having the right diagnosis and having the right documentation.
Yeah, Melissa, if you have any issues, you have my cell number. Give me a call.
And we're happy to help.
Yeah.
And Jennifer, who works with us, who's brilliant, will also be happy to help. And that goes for all of you.
Yeah. Teresa Renfro said, thank you. I appreciate all your help. How do you get a schedule award for things we've had done?
I don't know what you mean by things you have done, but what I can tell you
other body parts they had.
To get a schedule award, you A, have to have a claim accepted. B, it's got to be to a body area that qualifies. The spine doesn't. C, you've got to be put at maximum medical improvement by your doctor. D, after being put at MMI, the doctor does an impairment rating using the 6th edition. And then you attach that impairment rating report to a CA7, claim for compensation. And then that goes into the claims examiner. That's the whole process. Again, I'm writing extensively on this in book 2. Book 1, I write a lot about it. But that's how you get a schedule award.
Yeah. Debbie, you said, do you have any other federal injury offices in Florida other than the one in Tampa? Well, Debbie, first of all, we don't have one in Tampa.
We're in Clearwater.
We're in Clearwater. So if that's what you mean, that's the only one, the Clearwater office. But we don't know any other doctors in Tampa or anywhere else. Dr. Rashamwala is opening more clinics, but not at the current moment. So when those open, you will hear about all of them.
Yeah, and believe me, I'm pushing him harder than I think he wants to be pushed.
Wayne Mitchell, you said you want the info for the book. Right here. Right here. I pinned the comment below. You go to www. I think I said too many W's. BreakingOWCP.com.
Yeah.
The book is $14.95. We ship it out the next day by 3. So again, we won't be here for 2 weeks. So those of you that want books, get them now. We have until Saturday to get them in the mail and out to you guys that want them, because we won't be back for 2 weeks.
And that's not like an attempt to do like a high pressure sales deal at all. I just want you to know that for 2 weeks it won't be available. That's all.
Carol, no, the second book isn't done. Chris is at
it's so close.
Ending.
You know, but the thing is when I wrote this one, we had just got locked down on COVID. I was listening to an audiobook, like a self-help book, because I'm a nerd. And the guy in the book said to another guy, you mean you don't even have a book yet? And I hit pause and immediately started typing. And 3 days later, this was finished.
It's true.
I've never even heard of a book being finished in 3 days.
In 2 weeks, he had everything complete.
Yeah, it was already printed. But I didn't have anything else going on. We were all locked down. So, but now, since then, we've really been ramping up the franchise and trying the expansion. So it's taken a lot of my time, because that's the most important thing for you, is that you have doctors within range of where you live. So we've been putting, like, I'd say 85% of my effort has been into that. And in the process, I still managed to write another book. So I'm just editing. Then when we get back from Utah, I'll send it to the printer. It's already registered with the Library of Congress. It's already got an ISBN and a barcode and all that stuff, the little details. It just needs to be edited. But I have to read my own book and make sure that I've dotted my I's and crossed my T's, literally.
Yeah.
So I'm getting there.
If you see us, we look a little like, oh, we're so tired. Because we kind of are. He's been nonstop since we got back last week. On the phone with doctors, webinars, Zoom meetings with doctors. And we have this family trip coming up that we're really excited to go to with our families and our kids. To Utah. We have a house in progress of being built, so we have a lot going on. But like he said, the franchise is our number one priority, to make sure you guys have a doctor in your area.
Yep.
So if you guys think we're not getting back with you with anything, please just let us know. Send us a message, text, email, whatever. We will get back with you. Mrs. Harper says, I finally got your book, Chris. Thank you.
Oh, thank you,
Miss
Miss Harper.
We love you.
It was nice of you to get it. Thank you.
Melissa said, I have been seeing federal injury centers for my own injury, and they are amazing.
Thank you.
My husband is on OWCP. We know several mail carriers that go there too. Everyone I know who goes there has gotten their cases approved and have not paid a dime out of pocket to see the doctor, physical therapy, labs, x-rays, and even surgery. They're awesome. Well, thank you so much for your kind words,
Wow.
Melissa. So
yeah, thank you.
those of you that haven't been to any of our federal injury centers offices, this is what you get. Nothing comes out of your pocket. So we're not a scam. We're not out to get your money. We hear a lot of people say that, but we're not out to. Here is two patients, Melissa and her husband, and people she knows in the area, and they don't have to pay anything because you could forget your wallet and we wouldn't ask you for money.
Yeah, look, and that's the standard at federal injury centers. That's why it's so important to you, whether you know it or not. It's important to you that we're able to expand this business model, because the rules of our company say that A, we always get your claim accepted and we never stop fighting until it is, and B, we never take money, and if we don't get your claim accepted, we work for free, and that's how it should be. So those are rules that we live by. Like, we're never going to charge people to get an impairment rating or schedule award. I know people that fly across the country and pay $1,500 cash to get an impairment rating. Okay, that'll never, ever happen at federal injury centers. I'd rather do it for free than charge you a penny out of your pocket. That's just how it goes. So it's important that we get our offices expanded, and that's, it's the number one thing we're working on. But that's how it is in our offices, and I really appreciate her saying that. Because, we do have, and even recently we had somebody, I know I wasn't going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it.
I told him not.
So there's this guy named Darren, right?
Yes.
And I'll leave it. I don't want.
You guys have heard us say this before.
I don't want to hurt this guy, so I'm only going to use his first name. I have nothing against. I don't even know him. Okay, I have no hard feelings. Although he seems to hate me.
Yes.
I've never been trolled so much in my life, but he has this idea that I'm scamming you. He just doesn't understand what we're doing, and unfortunately, I've had to block him from here. I've had to block him from federal injury centers. I've had to block him from my own Facebook page. I've had to block this guy from social media because he's awful. He's just spitting hatred. And only because he just doesn't understand what it is that we're doing, that we're actually here to help you, that we do it for free. He's even mad at me that I wrote a book and that I charge money for it.
Yeah, he actually said that in an email.
Yeah, he's really angry. He said that you're profiteering off of, injured federal employees. Like, well, it couldn't be any more false. Like, we're definitely not doing that. We don't take a penny.
You guys have to understand, this is federal work comp. We if you guys invite us to do these rallies and stuff, we show up, but we're not out to get anybody. And he really honestly thinks that we're against you guys and against federal employees, and we're not. So
if you know some guy named Darren and he seems a little bit disgruntled, if Darren is disgruntled, talk to him. Let him know. Anyways, what's next?
Artiza says, I was sent for an evaluation to an independent medical examiner. I have called daily to request a copy of his report, which I'm entitled to. There is no way to get in contact with the claims examiner or anyone in the New York Metro office. How do I get that report?
You can't get in touch with your claims examiner? That doesn't sound right. So what you want to do is go to Google and search this, what I'm about to tell you. Type this into the search. Type OWCP district offices. What you're going to get is a website that'll have a map of the United States. You can click on your state, and there's a number. It also has the name of the head person, the district head of that district.
Yeah.
Call that number. Okay. If you're doing that already, I'm really sorry. I have no idea why you can't get on the phone with the claims examiner. Some of them are working from home. Many of them.
90% of them.
Many more than used to, and they were doing it before COVID. So they may be hard to get a hold of, but it shouldn't be impossible.
Rebecca says, I have a carrier who her injury is being challenged and they are not paying her. What can she do?
Well, who's challenging the injury? Because if it's anybody inside the agency, don't worry about that. The doctor's narrative carries all the weight. So you could have, hypothetically, a supervisor who on the back page of the CA1 writes terrible things and says it wasn't in the performance of duty or it was due to willful misconduct. It doesn't matter. If that's not true, it's not true. The doctor's narrative will carry all the weight. So whoever's disputing it, okay, the post office is. That happens all the time. Don't sweat it. Just take the CA1 or CA2 to the doctor. Fill out the employee statement form that's on my the free tab on my website. That'll be really useful to the doctor, helping the doctor get the case accepted. And don't worry about what the supervisors say, because the deal is that there are harsh penalties for knowingly making false statements. And so if someone knowingly does something that's false to try to hurt a case, they can get in a lot of trouble. So don't even sweat it. Just get this to the doctor and ignore the agency.
Yeah.
And use your union. By the way, if they're harassing you and stuff, file grievances, EEOs, contact OSHA. Don't put up with the crap that they do to you, but be sure you get everything to the doctor. The doctor's narrative will win.
Period?
The end.
Okay. Kenneth Giles says COVID-19 testing was required before surgery, but OWCP denied the bill, unable to get caseworker to call me back. Has anyone else had this problem? The billing people says it's not on the accepted conditions.
COVID-19 testing was required before surgery, but OWCP denied the bill. Are you saying they denied the payment of COVID-19? I don't think OWCP is going to pay for a COVID test unless you contracted COVID or came in contact with someone in the course of work. They're not going to pay for the test, but the government has programs set up to pay for COVID testing. Uninsured people get their COVID test for free. And there's like a whole slippery slope of fraud that can go with that. But if I'm hearing you right and I'm understanding, you're talking about OWCP's not paying for a COVID test. I can't think of a reason they would. That sounds like what's going to happen to everybody.
Jenna said, when our claims get denied, our caseworkers are not doctors. Who decides approval or denials of our claims?
Yeah, great question.
That's a great question.
Claims examiners make that decision, but when there's a dispute, they'll go to basically a referee doctor. But ultimately, the claims examiner makes the initial decision of accept or deny, which is why it's so important for doctors to write killer winning narrative reports that make it impossible for a claims examiner to say no. And that's how we train our doctors. We teach them to close every window and every door that a claims examiner could come through with to give a no.
Teresa says, my husband is a military veteran and he had a grenade go off near him during basic training in '88. He is having trouble hearing and has to wear hearing aids. He is 50% service connected now with his sinus problem, but it's hard for him to find someone to help him with filing a claim. What is the first thing he should do to get the process started for his hearing? Thank you.
So if this never happens, but it sounds to me that you just asked a question that's not related to OWCP, and I don't know the answer. I don't know what someone who is injured in the military does. I'm really sorry. I don't know the answer to that. If anybody else knows the answer here, because the federal workforce is loaded with veterans, and thank you all very much. Nobody loves you more than I do, except for maybe your mother. No kidding. If you're here and you know the answer, please reach out to this person and help them out.
Steve, you said you just ordered the book. I'll take a look and see if my local NALC president wants to purchase more for our stewards. This is a perfect gift, guys, to give. It's $15, $14.95, free shipping. It's a perfect gift for you guys are going to start working. We know, it's the month of October. You're going into November. No, we're in November. What am I saying? The month of October.
We're in November.
You guys are starting now with your crazy odd hours. And so we know that you're going to need this book to help you along the way. When the start of the year comes, all these doctors' offices are going to get flooded with you guys with your injuries. So it is great that you guys are helping out your union.
But I want to say this. Look, I appreciate everybody that gets the book. I do. And I appreciate when you give it to someone else. So many people have gotten multiple books just to give it to someone else. I think that's really kind of you. Nobody has to buy the book to get the information. Come back here every Wednesday and you'll get it for free anyways. But people like to have it basically in their back pocket, so it's available when they have trouble with their supervisors and things like that. So thanks for asking about it.
Suzanne said, my claim has been denied recently for a CA1. Jammed and rolled ankle causing a sprain. Was told doctor statements did not correlate with work activities. Doctor has told me he has done more than enough. Obviously doesn't want to help anymore. If I seek a new doctor, do I have to start all over?
Yeah, if you get a new doctor, the new doctor will have to write a new narrative report for sure. And it happens all the time. We get people that come to us that previously had denials from other doctors. Some people had multiple denials for multiple years, and we can still get it accepted. The start over is worth it if the doctor refuses to do the right job.
Samira said, so I have 2 neck fusions, although it's not compensatable for a schedule award. I heard I can get it for the weakness and pain in my arms and shoulders. Have you heard of this, and what would my chances be?
Yeah, so that's actually true. If you have a spinal condition that affects your arms or legs, then the arms and legs can get a schedule award. That's the rule. You nailed it. That was a good question.
Angela Navas said, have you ever heard of DOL's nurse case manager pressuring the doctors that you're treating, refers you to fill out a OWCP 5C in addition to your main treating doctor has always filled out the CA-17? The DOL nurse seems to be sabotaging my injury by contacting doctors ahead of time and asking them to say when I can go back to work full time.
Yeah, I hear about it all the time. And worse than that. Now, on the other side of it, I hear about a lot of good nurse case managers too. So if you're a nurse case manager watching and you're one of the good ones, we're all grateful for you. There's plenty of those. But yeah, we hear about what seems to be sabotage all the time. And what we've been told by Eric, the lawyer, is that you can write a letter asking to have your nurse case manager removed from your case. And you send that letter to the claims examiner. And he showed me the rule once, and I can't remember exactly what the rule number is, but it essentially said, and that shall be granted. Shall's a powerful word. It means absolute. So if you have to do that, that's a way to go. I don't want you to. You know, I want your doctor and your nurse case manager and you to work together to get you back to work. That's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But if any of those two outside of you is not helping you get back to work, you should find someone who will.
Penny, I'm not understanding your question. If you could retype the whole thing, that would be great. Madeline says, do you have any offices in New York?
Not yet, but we've got 3 commitments and maybe 4. Maybe a 4th one, but 3 already. So in the next 12 months, we expect those to be on.
Melissa says, Chris, the OWCP office made a nationwide change, and it has made it very difficult to get a return call from examiners. After a month of leaving voicemails, writing a letter to them, calling the Department of Labor directly, I finally received a call from a supervisor today. He is in Chicago. He said they have made a lot of changes since October, and it's causing delays. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But, I mean, they're not intending for you not to be able to get a hold of your claims examiner, but that seems to be a byproduct of it. But I recommend just wearing them out. I'd call every day anyways. You have a right to talk to your claims examiner.
Joe Box said, I've been a carrier for over 20 years. I have many aches and pains. Do I have a specific issue to see a doctor, or can you go for a checkup to see if the aches and pains are actually work-related?
Miss Joe. Okay. All right, so Joe, I like this question. I know how to answer it, and I'm going to. I want to tell everybody that's watching before I answer that I'm not a doctor. So with that said, if you have aches and pains and you think they're work-related, that after 20 years of being a letter carrier or a mail, and was a letter carrier? Yeah. Oh my God. Like one of the hardest jobs there are, outside of like those military bases where they build tanks. You can go see the doctor. In fact, if it's a condition like what you're talking about, it's a CA2 condition. It's developed over a period of 2 or more shifts. In your case, like 2 or more decades, right? So that meets the definition of what a CA2 is. You go to the doctor, and you have the doctor help you determine whether or not that was work-related. And once the doctor and you come to some conclusion on what's going on, if you conclude it's work-related, you go back to the supervisor and fill out a CA2. You have 3 years from the date you knew it was work-related to file this injury. So if you're not sure yet, your 3 years hasn't started yet. That's good news for you. So go to the doctor, double-check, make sure it is work-related, tell the whole story to the doctor, and then go see your supervisor and fill out your forms.
Okay, Samara said, follow up on my question about schedule award for shoulders and arms due to a spinal fusion.
Got it.
Sorry, but just wanted to know, is pain and weakness enough to be compensated, or will that have to be a diagnosis?
Well, you can't diagnose pain. And I'm guessing because these are symptoms, weakness is not a diagnosis that's valid either. You're going to need a diagnosis that Department of Labor accepts. They don't accept symptom diagnoses. Now, a doctor will know which diagnosis they can use to describe what's going on in your limbs. So just make sure your doctor knows that they won't accept pain and weakness as a diagnosis. That will never be accepted. Don't allow that to go in, okay? And then you should be fine.
Jenna said, thank you. Second opinion doctors I've been sent to only see me for a 2 to 4 minute visit. MRIs are included in my file. These doctors are paid by them, and we are incompetent. Can we sue these referee doctors for falsifying government docs?
You can't sue anybody in this process, which really sucks. But you know what you can do? This goes for everybody. Everyone listen up. This is really important. If you get sent to a second opinion doctor, your first stop, your next call, but your first stop should be to your doctor. And have your doctor fill out a CA-20. Okay, that's a really important form. Have them write a narrative report explaining your situation. It only has to be like a page long, maybe half a page, that is explaining why you're off of work, what the projections are, what's going on. Take that information with you and a CA-17. Take a CA-20, a CA-17, and a narrative from your doctor with you to this new doctor and hand it to them. Put it in their hand and say, please read this before you make a decision. Because otherwise they're going to spend 2 minutes, not even touch you, and, screw you over, and we don't want that to happen.
Yeah. So just to touch base again with everything, the book, if you guys wanted to get the book, you have from today till Saturday to purchase books because we won't be at home to get them to you for 2 weeks.
I'll make sure they're in the mailbox on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll take them to the post office, even if it's after hours, to get them out. But after that, I'm really sorry it'll take 2 weeks.
Yeah, and those of you that are seeing Wednesday night OWCP chats replying, that's Jennifer. Those of you that want calls, she's telling you to give her a call in the morning and give her detail about everything so she can help you. I know she was talking to the person about the hearing issue.
Yeah, and she's amazing.
Husband. Yeah.
So definitely let Jennifer help you. She's incredible.
Again, so the book, $14.95. Go to breakingowcp.com, get the book.
Free shipping.
Free shipping. We'll get it out to you by 3 o'clock the next day. So what else? Franchises, offices, clinics, they're coming soon. I know you guys all want to know when they're coming. As soon as we get another one open,
hey, I want to know too.
We are going to just let you guys know it's going to be done. But we tell you that, guys, this, and we are letting you know by the end of 2021, there's going to be like triple the amount of doctors we have right now.
At least.
So we're excited, and every week come back here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a great place to learn everything you can about OWCP till we're able to get back out on the road and come to your conventions and your union meetings. We miss all of our federal employees that we haven't been able to be around.
Yeah, and I want to tell you that we want to do Zoom meetings. So if your unions resume meeting and you're even doing them virtually, or if you're meeting in person, which I don't know if you guys are, maybe some of you are, probably depends on what state you're in. We'd love to get on and do some training in your meetings. I can condense and do a 15-minute topic. I can pick a topic. You can tell me which topic that you want, and I could spend 15 minutes on that topic. So I'm happy to help still. No strings attached to that. We do it for free.
We do it for free at Zoom. Come on.
I'll hook you up here in my living room, and it'll be like I'm there with you. Hey, my sister-in-law Jessica's watching. Hello, Jessica, and Bryson and Paisley.
What about Brad?
Well, if my brother's watching, I'm going to ask him why. He's not a federal employee.
Oh, my gosh. Wendy says, got your book. Thank you. I need antibiotics for an infection in my foot. Nurse says claims examiner is denying antibiotics to save my foot. And pick line. No infectious disease doctor taking a work comp near me. Any suggestions?
Find a doctor, a medical doctor, who can evaluate it and write a beautiful narrative and get it accepted. Like, our medical doctor here is not an infectious disease doctor, but there's no chance.
There are some.
Listen, I'm just saying, there's no chance our doctor, who's an MD, this hat, wouldn't get that accepted, or approved. So find another medical doctor who's willing to stick their neck out and write a good report.
Yeah, let us know where you live. And
maybe we can help you.
Help you find one out there.
And to all of you that are new, this is not a referral service. If we ever recommend a doctor's office, that's up to you. We receive nothing for referrals. We don't want it. We do not profit off of you in any way. So, but we're happy to help you find somebody if you need the help.
Jacqueline Murray says, forklift driver for over 10 years, have drive backward, which cause swelling tendons. How do I get it written up? You file a CA1.
Yeah.
Or a 2.
Whichever form it is. If it happened in a single shift, it's a 1. If it happened in 2 or more shifts, it's a CA2. But you got to write an employee statement explaining what happened to you and take it to the doctor along with your CA1 or 2 and have that doctor write a awesome narrative report and get that accepted.
Yeah, and if, Jacqueline, if you need more information, I pinned the number down below, the 877 number. You can give us a call and we'll be able to help you out. Melissa said, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Enjoy your trip and bring
Thanks.
some snow home. Oh my, Melissa, I know. My son says, why can't there be mountains and beaches? And I'm like, I know. I would never leave if there was
Because
mountains.
we're not going to California. Where they have that.
Yeah. Kenneth said, follow up previous text question on COVID-19 tests before surgery. Begin with required by the hospital or we can't have surgery, so OWCP will still not cover payments.
I can't imagine that OWCP is going to pay for COVID. I know the testing. I know. It sounds like automatic. They should. But I've never read anything anywhere where anybody's had that covered unless they were exposed at work.
Yeah. So guys, that's pretty much all of it today. We hope we answered all your questions.
Yeah, and thanks for being here. And I hope you'll share this with your friends and your coworkers. And as I like to say, also your coworkers who are your friends. Let them know this is going on every Wednesday, just not next Wednesday. And that you can come here and have your questions answered. And, there's no pressure here. There's no stupid answers, or no dumb questions. There may be stupid answers, but there's no dumb questions. And so we really appreciate you being here, a lot. We're really happy you're here.
Hey, Mr. Barclay, how are you?
Hey.
Actually, Mr. Barclay,
I was just telling her about you.
We were just talking about you a couple days ago that we wanted to get in touch with you to get into some more bases. We've had some issues with base people, and we wanted to know how, and this goes for all presidents and stewards out there. Yeah. There's 3.2 million federal employees nationwide. How much? 2.8. I said that backwards. 2.8 million federal employees nationwide. And I was told by someone in Salt Lake that they didn't even know we existed, that we're on here to watch this. So we would like all the presidents and the stewards that you have your groups of people and your union folks and all your employees, push them here on Wednesdays. We don't gain anything from it. You guys do by getting the knowledge and education when you get your work injury.
Yeah, we'd really like to have, an exponentially more people watching. So please just pass it on.
If you guys need us to write something for you guys to share on your websites, we can do that. We have a few AFGE people and APWU folks that put us on their website. When you go to work injuries, it pops up. So,
or if you're writing newsletters, you want to have an OWCP article in the newsletter, I'll be sure and write something that's not salesy. I don't even need to put federal injury centers in it. I'll write a nice topic and put it in your newsletter. So just let me know. I'm happy to help.
Mr. Barclay said, wow, I just shared your site with our defense Facebook.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. We love to help, the employees on these bases. That's an incredible job you guys do.
We know so many, and and it's still yet small, but we know so many AFGE members and so many USPS folks, from the presidents to the stewards to the employees, and there's still not enough of you on here to watch and get educated so strong that you're able to help somebody out. But the ones that have been following us and have been watching us every week,
they're powerful.
We hear so many positive things, I spoke to Chris and Chris said to watch you guys, and I learned how to fill out my forms and stuff like that. So we can help in any way when it comes to OWCP related. Okay, so share with your friends. Mr. Barclay said, sounds great, send me the letter. Okay, we will. So if anybody wants us to write something for your newsletters, like Mr. Barclay said, he's with AFGE on the Air Force base.
Army base.
I said Air Force? Army.
You did.
Yeah, let us know. And Chris is great at writing and can really put some...
Tell your friends.
Small things that mean a lot and that are really, really powerful. I'm getting ready to send out a newsletter by December 2nd.
Okay.
Can you get something out to Mr. Barclay?
Not a problem.
So with that said, everybody, we thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, please watch us in 2 weeks. We will be in the state of Utah in the cold weather with all this snow in the mountains, hidden in a cabin with our family members. but we are going to stay safe. And we wanted to wish each and every one of you a very, very happy Thanksgiving. And for us, we are so grateful that we have an audience that wants us to educate and you guys all fired up and get the knowledge to you guys that you guys could help your fellow coworkers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Riza Freeze says, I'm on the airbase. We need a letter.
You got it.
We have a newspaper. Okay, so those of you that want us to write a newsletter or something with OWCP, please email me at Gini, Gini, at federalinjurycenters.com. Just put in there where you're from, what city and state, and who you work for, and Chris will write an awesome newsletter for you.
And
guys.
I need to know what your submission deadline is. I'd hate to turn in my article after the print date, so let me know.
Julie Van Horn says, elected as new president of AFGE Local 1345, Fort Carson, Colorado. Wow, congratulations, Julie. Hope to have you train our stewards soon. Oh, we would love to.
Yeah.
I'm dying to come to Colorado.
Yeah, say when. Say when. We'll definitely do it.
Yeah.
Look, COVID hasn't scared me out of not flying. I'm still happy to do it. So if somebody needs me to come and help out, let me know.
Yeah, we are always here. We will be ready to travel as soon as you guys are able for us to come back and COVID is done and we can be amongst all 50, 100, 300 of you again. So Chris can educate you guys.
All right, that's it.
Again, you guys have a great, safe, happy Thanksgiving. Don't get in trouble for having more than
however many people
your state allows.
I'm pulling for you. Depending on where you are, don't sing, don't yell out loud, and don't have more than... This is ridiculous. I'm
Riza said she's AFGE Local 987 Robbins Air Force Base.
Great.
We would love to come to all the Air Force bases and just have a great time with you guys. So don't forget to like, follow, and share, and watch us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, everyone have a great Thanksgiving and have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you in 2 weeks.